recording is now going again.
All right. You guys get to the door beneath the stairs. Are any of you doing anything special? Like, are you keeping your eye out for something in particular? Are you doing anything a certain way?
Well, I have my flashlight, crossed underneath my MP5, shining ahead, and
I'm watching the walls as we go down to see if, are they typical wooden basement type wall, or are they reinforced?
Well, I guess before you get to that, you try to open the door.
okay.
You knew that this was the door to the basement because it has that typical metal/rubber plate at the bottom that keeps external doors sealed, so you don't leak air conditioning, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And since you just absolutely did not want to go downstairs, you clicked the little thing locked and left it there. The feeling that I was getting from you is you didn't want to have anything to do with it until you had backup.
Exactly.
Is that a say? All right. You click the little thing unlocked, and you turn the door, the doorknob. It turns, and you try to pull it open, and it does not open.
Okay.
It seems like this is a pull door. It's somehow stuck, but it's obviously not stuck from the other side. There's nothing that is up against. There has to be, something holding it.
Really? So
Yeah.
it does it give a little bit when I
No, absolutely
pull a
not.
little harder?
It gives the same approximate give as a locked door will when it's being pulled.
Okay.
Do you guys examine, the door more closely?
Yeah. Are the hinges on our side or on the other side? And I examine the door more closely.
The hinges are on your side. That is a very good thing to take note of. It looks like you could pull them out. But as you're I assume, you guys say this is kind of odd.
Why would someone so heavily reinforce a basement door?
Well, it's just you take the top hinge out, you take the middle hinge out, and I'm assuming this is Mac doing this. You kneel down to take the bottom hinge out, and I think you notice something at the bottom of the door. You look a little bit closer, and it looks like there's some sort of locking mechanism at the bottom, but it's really unobtrusive. It's been painted to try to camouflage to the door.
So there's another locking mechanism on our side.
Yeah, it is.
This thing.
It
so
is.
It's like
it is
bolt.
It's at toe level almost. It's really low, shoe level. It is on. It's it's on the door. It's on the same side of the door as the door handle. It's so far down there, and there's not a plate to it or anything. It's what is there has been painted the same color as the door, and it looks like it's got some sort of keyhole.
Huh. Interesting. Well, now your lockpick might come in handy.
Did somebody have a lockpick?
So I shove Mac back
Ruby.
and I blast the door with my shotgun.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Yeah. That thing just disintegrates the area around the
lock. Secondism.
around the second lock.
Yep, the one that we're looking at.
Okay.
That he said, "Do you have a lock?"
Yeah. So all of you guys, your ears are ringing and holy fuck, give us some warning next time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Racehorse backs up and he raises his hands. He's like, I'm out, and he goes to the kitchen and he starts moseying around with the shelves. You guys can deal with that shit. I have enough hearing problem or whatever. You guys see a square foot of the door has just been disintegrated. Part of the door jamb has, and since that's happened, you can see that the inside of the door jamb has been reinforced, and also the inside of the door. It's only because of the immense power of Ruby's gun that you could actually do this. It seems like there was a heavy duty bolt at the very bottom of the door, and it looks like maybe as you pull the door open now, and it comes open.
So
It is extremely heavy,
after
and
it
it
comes
looks like
open,
this whole thing has been reinforced with steel.
I look over my shoulder at Mac. Doors open.
Okay. So I open the door and shine the flashlight down the stairs.
It is utterly dark.
So basically, what happened here was Mac was all like, "Oh, maybe if we had a lockpick," Ruby just shoves him aside. Blam.
Yep. You Luke Skywalker the door. You shine your light down. This is a fairly deep basement.
You hear an alarm. Warning, perimeter breached.
Yeah.
You see a red dot appear on Mac's chest. No.
Jesus.
All you can see is like the stairs, which are solid wooden. Further down the stairs, where the wall sort of ends, there's the standard kind of wooden brackets that reinforce it. You see it in a lot of basements. There's a concrete floor, and then like just pools of darkness beyond your light. And the only thing on the wall is like a single like switch panel, and there's like 2 switches on it.
I'll throw both switches.
Yeah. So nothing happens.
Yeah, no power out here. Didn't think so, but always trying.
You do hear a click from somewhere inside the basement when you throw the second switch.
A click, like a weapon click, or
I would, and I'm not saying that this is what it is. I would liken it most closely to like a breaker being thrown or
Okay.
something.
Gotcha.
And yeah, like you do slowly proceed down.
Let's see here. So is Ruby behind me, or is Ryu behind me?
It sounds like Ruby's behind you.
I'm behind you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ryan's
Ryu's
Okay.
picking up the
last
rear.
in line.
So now at the bottom, does it span out both directions, or is there a wall on one side, or?
It actually does span out in both directions. Like there is a solid wall on your left side, so you can't see anything to your left. You can see a little bit to your right as you start going down.
Okay, so
I'm
there's
actually
like
on purpose letting Mac do some of this stuff because he, has been sitting in a truck for half this episode. So
exactly. Does Ruby have a flashlight as well?
Yeah,
so
she's got that shaky
I
flashlight.
got my shake light.
Shake light. Alrighty.
When you say your flashlight, this is one of your pieces of barter, right?
If you have a flashlight, it has to be one of your barter.
Sure.
Yeah. So
That would be one of my gear.
your Kevlar vest and tactical gear is like it specifically says worth 1 armor. I don't envision a flashlight contributing to anything that's worth 1 armor. So like I just see it as like the actual like harnesses and stuff. But you do have 1 barter. You can make that like a really high quality flashlight if you want. Just mark it down under your gear and barter.
And then I would go to 0.
Just note that is what your barter is. You still
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, like you
Okay.
can
Now,
decide on that's what
Should
it
you
is.
spend your barter, you lose that.
You can just say like barter like and then in parentheses maglite or something. Like, it's a 1 barter flashlight. So this is a really high grade flashlight, like police issue or military or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. But a tactical flashlight.
Yeah, and I'm gonna actually say that you could
Attach it to my
probably
MP5.
you could probably attach it to your MP5 because I'm
Okay.
envisioning that you got all this from the same person and from the same place, and so like they're meant to work together.
I turned mine on as well. My pocket
Okay.
loader, and put it in the pocket of my vest.
So now I don't have to hold it. And
Yeah, exactly.
alrighty. So I'll tell Ruby. I said I'm gonna go down the stairs and cut to the right, and I'll start making my way down. Not slowly, but not quickly either. Just kind of at a normal pace.
Steady.
Yeah.
You got your SMG up doing the whole Rainbow
Yep.
Six clearing thing. Okay. Yeah, we've all seen that.
Ruby's behind you for a shotgun, exactly like it is in the pose. Down the
The
bottom.
stairs are remarkably sound. Like they don't make a whole lot of creaking at all. And the lower you guys get in here, it gets a little bit damper, but that's expected to be with a a basement. There's no water anywhere. You don't have to
Thank
worry about
God.
that, guys. Not
Yeah, I
again.
know, right?
Stinky muck. Frog spawn.
Nope, nope, double nope. You look around, and this area right around the base of the stairs is almost completely blank aside from the concrete, and then like it seems like concrete walls even, like really neatly poured walls.
So very well reinforced.
Somebody built a house on top of a bunker?
And there's like a table with in the corner nearest to the door or nearest to the stairs, and there are a few racks, and obviously on these racks, like these are weapon racks, but they're almost entirely empty. I say almost because there are a few weapons there. I am taking it that you guys are not just like running over and like
No.
seeing what the loot is, because we've learned from that.
Yes, I'm not doing that. I'm still
But you
scanning
notice
around.
some magazines, like bullet magazines on the table, like the typical thing that you would associate with like this is where somebody's storing their weapons, and it seems like a good deal of them. And there's some cabinets over there too that you haven't looked through, but like that corner is obviously the gun corner, and it is mostly clear. with
Ruby's
stuff.
keeping an eye out for booby traps and stuff like that. I don't know
That
if is that sharp. I don't know.
See,
I don't know what you actually have to roll it for, but
well, you see, that would be reading a sitch, I think. This is,
Yeah.
I would consider this a charged situation.
Ryder's gonna comment that someone took personal security very personally.
Yeah, and if you want to roll it, this is gonna be your one time. I'm gonna make sure to reintegrate this to you guys. People can only roll once per situation, and like I basically deem what that situation is. Like that, it could be a long situation. If you want to roll, yeah, just roll sharp. You don't have an enemy here, but you can still ask a lot of these questions, I think.
Yeah, 6, so it's not good. Forget it.
Wow, so many failed situation rolls this session.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking for like obvious wires and stuff. You don't see any. So are you guys all staying together,
I'm
or are
really
you like,
tempted to help her again.
or are you?
That cost me last time.
Yeah, it did. That situation would have been fucking different if you hadn't rolled that. Are you guys staying together, or are you splitting up to clear this in like the most efficient possible way?
You know, I think like maybe they booby trapped this place or something. She's looking for like obvious wires. Like I don't see any, so maybe it's okay. I don't know.
I say, well, no, I tell them to spread out a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you guys notice that this is a very big basement. It goes well beyond, like, the part near the stairs is the smallest part. It extends significantly far under the house. Let's see here.
Are there separate rooms, or is it just a big, huge open area?
There are 2 rooms. I'm getting to that though. As you guys pass where the stairwell is, like this thing is basically dividing the basement, so you can't see the other side of the basement. Like you're coming up to the stairwell, you notice like an actual room, with like a metal frame, like it seems to be some sort of door, off to your side. The door is open. You can't see what's in it. You're like maybe in the process. And I'm thinking this is probably Max seeing this. You're maybe in the process of thinking like, Jesus, somebody built like this room is probably not underneath the house. Like this is probably out underneath the yard. Like this is this is to the point where it's beyond the basic limits of the house. You're like, Jesus, what the hell is this place?
And it was able to support a mech on top of it too. Wow.
Yeah, as you're looking, like it's you're not seeing that like this entire yard would have been. Actually, let me just kind of give you an idea.
Are we getting a new map?
No, we're just gonna do the same map. If you were downstairs, it seems like this room is like out there in yellow. So like his mech never directly walked over it, and like you're not seeing that this thing is like the whole yard is a facade over top like a giant concrete thing or anything. But like this is it's very unusual for a basement to extend beyond the house. But as you're taking note of that, you see these shadows looming on the far side of the basement. And by when I say far, I'm talking like the right side of the basement, basically. If you're looking straight
I'll
up.
call out to the others. Movement in the corner.
No, you don't see movement. You just see these shadows loom, in your flashlight. Very big shadows. You notice a row of giant cages.
Oh, okay. So it's not like something moving. It's when my flashlight's moving
Yeah.
out. There's
The important question is, are these cages broken open?
I examine the cage.
Yeah, I assume you guys, get closer. Ryu has gone, around the opposite side of the stairwell and basically come across what you guys have all seen.
So there's cages all over the place.
Well, he's like the part nearest the stairwell is fairly clear of the cages, and that's like where the two rooms are, and where the gun rack or the gun area is. And then the area on the far side of the stairwell, like maybe this area, as I'm drawing it.
Okay.
That is where the cages are.
Somebody was into some hardcore shit.
These are like, I think there's like 6 cages in here, and there's like 2 or 3 on one wall, there's one on another, and there's a couple on another. There's like a table with like maybe you don't want to know what's on it.
Like scientific gear, medical gear.
It looks less scientific and medical and more painful.
Bondage straps.
No.
Torture devices.
More torture. None of these cages are inhabited.
That's might be good. We'll see.
It looks like these things are really sturdy.
Cop by day, mad scientist, mechanic by night.
Like these cages are like 6 feet tall, so somebody could stand in them. They couldn't really walk around a whole lot. Like they're maybe like 4x4. And they're it looks like they're iron, with very very thick bars. And the doors look to have like a single secure lock that like actually has like a key lock.
Okay. Before I examine the cages, I'm gonna take a look around the rest of this big room. And is there anything else of note, threat-wise, or anything like that?
No threats. One of these rooms that's off to the side, I'm gonna draw another one. It seems to be about there. Both of these side rooms, like one of them seems to be like it has some bunk beds. The one on the far left, I think that's actually probably bigger than I portrayed it. Let me change it.
And are both doors open to those rooms?
Yes. The one to the south, the one that I am now pinging, doesn't actually have a door. It just has a metal frame. The one on the left that I am now pinging does have a door, but it's just kind of ajar. The one on the left seems to be some sort of bunk room. There's two sets of bunk beds there. It seems like all of them have been in use at one point or another. Like, they just look like beds. There's a table in there, a dresser, the typical stuff you'd find in some sort of small bunk room. The room to the south seems to be some sort of, like, it's not a living room, but it's got like a couple couches. It's got a whiteboard. It seems to have a projector.
Whoa.
And it's got like, there's a link up for what you assume to be a computer attached to this projector, but there's no computer. There's a desk. Again, no computer. It seems like that's some sort of common room. But yeah, those are what's in the side rooms.
Alrighty.
And
Now
I would think you kind of peeled off to check out these other rooms once you noticed that there's nobody like moving or standing up in these cages.
Yeah.
As you're doing that, who would be taking the closest look at the cages who is not Mac?
Ruby's gonna look to kind of like go toward the cases and roll weird, or open your brain toward the emanations of the cages.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll deal with that in a second. You hear yelling, like from upstairs, not like panic yelling. You just hear Racehorse like, "Guys, is everything okay down there?"
I
Some
call up to
weird
him.
shit down here, man.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. So Ryu,
Okay. Let me mark one last thing here. Red is going to be the area that looks like the gun area, and it looks pretty clear that this wall is where the reinforcement occurred, where the where the cellar door was. Like it's like poured concrete now. So you want to roll weird, eh? As you're doing this, you see a body in one of these things, like a slightly desiccated corpse. It's not smelling. Rolling weird is, of course, opening your brain about a certain topic. So you're opening it about the cages.
So nothing special.
Man, you guys are just failing on all the fun stuff.
I've got a lot of 6 today.
Hasn't that been all you've rolled?
Pretty much.
Jesus, every roll up there, 6, 6, 6. That's not a good triple number.
Every roll I've done recently. I noticed 10 and 8.
You feel a shuddering through your body, and not the good kind of shuddering that you were feeling in the barn last night. You feel like pain coming up from your fingernails, traveling up your arms, like really sharp pain. I think you hear like echoes of like screams in your ears, and you just see darkness, and that's probably it.
All right, Ruby falls back in like a stuttering, like gasping look.
Make sure you guys are keeping track of your XP when you're doing these things.
I don't have weird marked. So.
Okay, I'm making sure to note.
Are you all right?
Yeah, you see Ruby kind of like fall back or almost fall down.
I don't think good things happened in these cages.
It looks like maybe she saw this body and almost fainted. To you, Ryu.
How can you tell?
There was pain and darkness. I didn't see much.
Do you guys, examine the body? Do you call Mac over? What do you do?
I examine the body.
I guess
First, I'm gonna put my hand on the cage and say, "Good things rarely come with cages."
Big metal cages.
Yeah. Yeah. So the body is definitely of a person. It looks like this person has been dead for some time. God, I'm not totally familiar with the stages of decomposition, but it's to the point where it's no longer smelling.
Rapid.
Yeah. It's to the point where it's no longer smelling. It's certainly not fun to look at. I mean, like there's not a whole lot of insects or anything down here, so like it's just what
Excuse
it
me.
is.
Yeah.
It's hard to make out who this person could have been. Like it's hard at this point to even make out race. It does look like a man at one point. And I think perhaps you notice one of his arms has been mangled somehow. Yeah, like it's somewhat mummified almost. Like not like dry mummified, like that it's totally preserved, but it's like it's fairly, you know, shrunken and
Regardless, he's been here a long time.
yeah, at least you would say at least a month or two.
Only a month or two.
1 to 2 months for complete decomposition.
Yep.
But I felt pain from my fingers. Might have been tortured. Know why?
You gotta be careful
Yeah,
of
so
that, Ruby. I mean, this is
bad-
not the place that I would consider. Bad things happen here. I wouldn't go looking into that much myself.
that is a feeling you all get. Bad things happened here. If any of you take a look at that horrible table, there's just, you know, knives and torture implements. Seems to be a car battery with some wires.
Yes, please. We'll take that.
While they're checking the body, I'm gonna start looking for that thing that clicked from when I hit the switches, like where it kind of came from.
Okay.
The door is
Judging
still
by the
closed.
sound, it seems like it might have come from that south room.
Alrighty, I'll head towards there.
The
I'll
bunk room?
cover.
side.
I cover him. No, the
Um,
southern room. This one here.
Yeah.
That's the bunk room over there.
Yeah, the bunk room's on the west side. You know, you see what I've described before. Do you want to go get somebody to go press that switch again?
Ooh. Yeah, I'll ask him. Hey, can you go up there and hit that switch again? See if I see anything clicking down here, or can make out where the sound's coming from more.
Can do. Walk up the stairs and I cycle the switch.
Yeah. So you hear this click again. It's actually not coming from this room. It's very close by. You follow your ears out into the main room, and it seems like it's like there's a like a small closet almost. It's not like it's just kind of a hollowed out piece with some, you know, 2x4s and whatnot kind of framing it. It's right next to the room. I'll put a box.
Lots of places in this house for electricity. In
And
the
it
middle of nowhere.
you peel back this tarp that's covering it, and you see a generator.
Oh
Does
my
it
god.
seem to be intact?
Yeah, it seems to be
It's
intact.
clicking.
Minus
The
the
ignition
blank
at least works.
ticking. Yeah, at least the ignition works. Okay. How big is it? It's
This
like a
is
little
a
Honda.
generator. This has two wheels on
So-
on.
The clicking, is it like when you try to start your car but the battery's dead?
Yeah, something like that. This is a big generator. You guess a couple 100 pounds. It's got like pretty big wheels on it.
Diesel or gas?
If you look closely at it, it looks like it can accept.
Or even better,
diesel.
ethanol, please.
It accepts diesel. It looks like it's like Like if you kick it, there's like a very minor amount of sloshing on the bottom. This is something that like it's you have a hard time imagining how they got it down here, except maybe they got it through the
Now sealed up door.
the now sealed up stairs or the cellar door. You think maybe if you took the time to like break the door jamb up at the top of the stairs and you guys like rigged up some sort of pulley and one of you like got down and pushed, like maybe you could roll it up the stairs, but like it would be a real tight fit. It would require like all four of you working, and it would probably take a little bit of time.
What's the
So
roof
it's-
made out of?
The roof, it's concrete.
Oh, well.
Like it's got your wooden, you know, I guess it's not. Let me
Had to
think.
be steel.
There's a concrete bunker if the doors isn't access.
I'm thinking it actually probably has. That's a really good point. I didn't think about what sort of roof it had. I mean, you could technically have a concrete roof, but it wasn't what I was envisioning. It actually has just like your standard floor. Yeah, like it's got thick braces up top, but it does not, now that you're looking at it, it does not look like this place was built before the house. It seems like maybe this was a basement that was retrofitted later on.
Expanded and retrofitted. Okay.
Yeah, like maybe it was never this reinforced, but like it has been. It is this reinforcement looks fairly recent. Like within, you would guess within several years.
Okay. Alrighty.
Crazy shit. Frog spawn.
If you're
Lots of
thinking what I'm
valuable stuff,
thinking, you're
no
thinking
signs
like
of
you could
life.
feasibly break through this floor somewhere. You know, it would depend on where and whatnot, but that's, you know, coming to your mind.
My feasible brain says, knock a hole in the wall, reach down to the living room floor, and just lift the darn thing out.
You tell that to the rest of the group. About this time, you hear footsteps on the stairs, and you see Racehorse coming down. He's like, "What did you guys? Holy mother of God!"
It's a big
Again,
generator, but there's
He sees what we're pointing the flashlights at as his generator, or all kind of gathered around it.
Yeah. He doesn't even see the cages and the torture implements and the dead body on the other side of the room. He sees this, and his eyes light up, and like this is not what you guys were looking for, but this could easily be like a temporary solution for the power problem, at least.
Does it have any markings on it, like say how much power and wattage and amperage and everything on it?
It does. The GM is going to have to quickly research that.
I mean, does it seem like it's pretty?
It could
pretty damn
power.
powerful.
It could power a
Small
house.
town.
It could power a house easily. It might
Las
be able to.
Vegas.
It might be able to power a couple houses. Like, you can tell
Okay.
that this is at least made to power somebody's home, like during the winter or something, during an emergency.
by consuming a
um,
vast amount of diesel.
Yeah. But you do know that diesel is a very kind of, you know, utilitarian fuel source.
And there's
But
some kind
it's a
of
ration substance in the town.
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some kind of ventilation for the diesel fumes too.
Yeah, it seems to be built in this little closet thing. Like, it seems like this closet thing was there before. And now that you're looking at it, like, it might have been a chimney at one point.
Okay. I want to check that south room out, see if there's anything that can kind of tell me what that room was used for.
Yeah, you know, you've got your couches and stuff. You can see some.
Check the desk.
Yeah, checking the desk nets you some you know, a very sparse amount of things. Like, whoever uses this seems to only use it as like a surface almost, and they don't like permanently use this desk. You find some maps inside, like old maps of the city. in like the county and stuff. Nothing is circled or anything. There's nothing unique. You know, you find some papers in there like that don't really seem to apply to anything relevant. Like maybe they were in this desk when it was brought down here. It's addressed to. Let me see here. Addressed to a Mr. Barker of God, what is it? The guess the county
Price is
police
Right.
department. And it seems to be some sort of you know, like note regarding pension.
Okay. So this is the county police officer's torture room. I see.
Possibly. Who knows?
Right. Maybe he just went insane when the end came.
You hear another "Holy fuck" from the other side of the room, and it's clear that Racehorse has found the dead body.
Okay.
So, you guys check out the gun area, quote unquote.
Yeah, I'm gonna clear that
Yeah,
last.
check the
bunk-
gun area, and we gotta see if there's anything
bunkhouse.
interesting in the
Bunk
bunkhouse.
room.
I think that's it.
Bunk room. There's just some clothes in these dressers. Oddly enough, there seems to be a few balaclavas. Yeah, like ski
the hell?
masks.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, these guys have really been doing some interesting stuff.
There's some gloves in here, of various sorts. Like, you know, there's some baseball like batter's gloves in here. There's like some regular leather work gloves, you know, stuff like that. You know, there's some jeans, some clothes, that sort of stuff. Not much.
Alrighty. No, like
You
Foot
find
Locker type thing.
you find like a couple porno mags.
stuffed
various
under
places.
the mattresses.
Yeah, like one or two of them are in a drawer, like one of the top drawers, and a couple of them are like underneath somebody's bed. You know, most of them are fairly tame. A couple of them are a little bit more out there.
Nothing like that's hardcore BDSM or whatever.
No, you don't get anything like that. Like there
Alrighty.
seems to be Playboys, some penthouses, and then like there's some like transsexual porn underneath one of the beds.
So this was recreational versus job on the other end. Alright, we can go check out the guns.
Probably
then.
worth something to someone.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Mark down porn mags.
Yeah. 10 barter for that.
Yeah, so like while you guys are going over to the guns, I think Racehorse is having conniptions trying to figure out how to get this generator out of here. He's like going back and forth from the stairs to the generator. Like, who was it that suggested something about the ceiling?
I did.
Right.
Riot.
Like, I think he's probably talking with Ryu. Like, where do you think the best area to like? He runs upstairs and he's like, "Do you think the living room would be a good area?" And he's like, he obviously thinks it's like we should just go ahead and do it. But yeah, you guys make your way over to this gun area.
Theory, I want to put a hole in probably the most structurally sound part of the building I can find.
Yeah, maybe. It seems like this area could hold a lot of guns. In terms
But
of
most
rifle
are missing.
racks, in terms of rifle racks, there are enough spaces for like 8 or 10 rifles. It looks like there is a single rifle there, and it is like a really dinky 22.
Yeah, but I mean,
In
22
these
is the most common ammo ever.
Yeah, it is. It is the ubiquitous zombie infection gun. This doesn't look like a very well maintained rifle, I'll say. There seems to be magazines of various sorts on this table. It looks like it was at one point a ping pong table, but the ping pong net has been broken off and removed, and like the paint has been just like annihilated. Some of these are like hunting rifle mags. Some of these are pistol mags. Somewhat scarily enough, maybe there are a few assault rifle mags on here.
Are any of them filled with bullets or just the empty
No,
magazine?
these all seem to be empty. There's like a couple that have like maybe 1 or 2 bullets in them. These cabinets, one of them is sturdily locked. It is a very like sturdy cabinet. It's metal, double doors. It's kind of low to the ground. It is beneath one of these racks, and this particular rack that's above it actually is like a pistol case, and there's a couple pistols in there.
Ooh. Anything good?
Oh, there's a Glock, and looks like a I don't know, what was that ripoff?
Springfield Arms.
Yeah, there's probably like a Springfield too, like the ubiquitous Glock ripoff. We're just gonna say 2 handguns, one 122 rifle.
Alrighty. Is Ryu around, or is he running around trying to figure out how to put holes in the ceiling?
I'm over talking to Racehorse.
Alrighty. I call over to Ryu. I say, hey, there's a locked cabinet over here. You get that universal key?
That
I don't
was
have a
Ruby's
universal key. I
shotgun.
was referring to
Oh,
Ruby's
gotcha.
shotgun at the time.
Alright, Ruby, you got your universal key you can bring over here to this cabinet?
I walk
gonna
over and look
I'm
at
gonna
this
stand
cabinet.
way back.
Do I think this will hurt me if I shoot it?
It doesn't look like the bullets are gonna reflect at you, no.
With the bomb inside, my. When's that ever stopped you in the past?
I don't think lockpicks would be worth barter.
So this is like a locked metal cabinet?
This is, yeah. It's
I want to check that
it's
office desk
squat.
and see if it has a key.
It's like you probably find a key ring.
In the desk?
Yeah, like there's a bunch of keys.
Oh.
Like
and
maybe
trying the
like
keys.
maybe a crazy amount of keys, like 100.
And looking at the concrete walls, I think I would probably go deaf if I fired this down here.
Well, you have already fired a gun in close quarters.
Yeah, but that's like wood. That doesn't. It's not as reflective. Well, actually, no, we were in the basement too.
Well,
so I guess
hopefully
it
she
doesn't make a
call
difference.
out fire in the hole or something before she shoots.
I don't think you're gonna go deaf. Like your ears are gonna ring a bit, but you're used to that with this gun. Like it might be a little bit worse than
Hey
normal.
guys, I
but-
found the keys. Unfortunately, there's a shitload of them.
How many keys are on the ring?
As Ruby's readying her gun to
Well,
fire, you're
one
like,
of
I
you-
found the keys.
Actually, let's see here. Well, one of you roll me 1d100.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. It's gonna be like the JSL key. right?
There could be just one.
This will be how many keys are on the ring. Guess Cloud's gonna do it. 71 keys.
Just
These
71 keys.
these look like this is a big key ring, and it looks like these are keys from like everything. You see, like a key to a Volvo, some Ford keys. Like
I want
whoever
to try
the
the
fuck
one that
has
looks
this is like
most
collecting
logical
keys.
for this kind of box.
You're looking for the tiny little funky key.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those. They're like the standard Schlage sort of lock keys. There's probably like roll 1d71. Yeah, there are 9 of them.
That's not so
Sounds
bad.
much more reasonable.
Yeah, so like you're pondering shooting this thing, and you step back and you start trying these keys.
So I one of these pistols. What kind of stats would that have?
Mine's too harm close loud.
It's gonna be a standard handgun. Let me bring up the weapons table.
I have a 9mm Beretta. I don't think I get much more standard.
Ruby is semi-interested in having a sidearm. that's what.
Yeah, it's gonna be like they're not necessarily 9mm, but it's gonna have the same stats. It's gonna be 2 harm, close, loud.
Is there ammo for him?
You don't see ammo anywhere.
That's a no. But
You see a couple empty boxes on the table, like, you know, that's it. Like literally 2 empty small boxes. So you try all these keys, none of them fit.
Figures.
Alrighty. So she's 8 years. Doesn't
what
cover your
is
ears
this
'cause you're
like
gonna blow it
safe
out.
door metal, or is this like
Um,
iron, or like aluminum locker metal?
This is not
Like
aluminum.
filing cabinet metal.
This is like a very sturdy cabinet of like probably iron or maybe I don't know that it's steel. It's not like safe grade at all. It's not close, but it's certainly not like a filing cabinet.
I investigate the table of gruesome objects. They don't have a saw there, do they? Like a grinder saw?
Or a crowbar type thing.
Ooh. There is no crowbar. There
Does,
is a bone saw.
Racehorse? Does Racehorse have a crowbar?
He probably has one in his truck.
Would looking at it with a crowbar
No.
to the oh damn.
No, it's too finely it's too finely lined
How
up,
is
like
the
you couldn't
lock
get it in there.
attached?
It seems to be a double door sort of thing, and
It's right in the
the-
middle.
yeah, it's right in the middle.
Great.
There is a bone saw on the table, and you probably have shutters looking at it.
Yeah, just a bit.
You what? You're breaking up.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Do not
So-
roll weird while looking
So
at that.
Racehorse, goes upstairs. He's like, I'm gonna check out upstairs. Look for some place to break through.
Righto.
He also sees this elephant gun at one point or another pointed somewhere, and he doesn't want to be in the same room again as this thing going off.
Ruby's thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I want to do it or not.
So it looks like a crowbar would be helpful in opening this, because I know that
He just said
Racehorse
that
has one.
it's not.
You could batter it with a crowbar, but you wouldn't be able to use it like a crowbar is normally used. Like, the crowbar is not
Where
fine
are
enough to
the
fit into the
hinges on
cracks.
this?
It looks like they're internal. It looks like this was meant
have
to be
we-
secure.
Have we looked around? Were there like in the desk? Did we check all the drawers and everything? I'm
While
trying to
The
think of
they're
desk
all
places
only
for
had
that.
one drawer.
While
You found the
everybody else
keys
is
there.
looking, I could
I'm
use
just,
try
I'm
more
just gonna
keys.
say this, but I reach my hand up and feel around on top
On the
on the locker thing.
well, you can see the top of the locker. There's nothing
Oh,
there.
is it like squat?
I've said it's squat multiple
Oh, okay,
times.
okay.
It only comes up like 3 feet maybe, and on top of that is a case of handguns.
How heavy is this locker?
Or is it bolted to the floor?
Oh boy. You try to push it.
Just like nudge it. See if it'll
It
move
does
or-
not budge. If you go down to the bottom, it looks like it is bolted to the floor. You have a reasonable guess this is also very heavy.
Fair enough. So, they bolted it to the floor, but it's not like safe grade steel.
No, but I'm gonna point out that safe grade steel is like, half an inch to an inch thick. That's like fucking crazy ass steel. You can't tell how thick this stuff is. It just doesn't look like that.
I really need a grinder, but they don't seem to have one of those.
All right,
What?
about now you hear a shout from upstairs. You say, guys, someone's coming.
Oh,
Oh no.
alrighty. I start to make my way up as
Yeah.
quickly as possible.
Go back upstairs.
Yeah,
Take
you
cover
guys,
at a window. Look
you
out.
guys run up and take point at windows that are like lining the porch and stuff.
Yep.
You see Racehorse up there with his Mac 10. He's up against the wall right next to the front door. The front door is been left open at this point.
I call out to him to get
Your
in here.
truck is outside. Your mech is out front. There's a bunch of your looted shit out front. You see dust coming up the drive.
How long's
How
the
long-
drive?
Yeah, how long do we reckon it'll be till
It's
they
a
get
mile. It looks like
I'm gonna
he
get the
didn't
mech
notice it as soon as they got in there. It doesn't look like he noticed them right then. It looks like they're almost to the house.
No.
It looks like they're going, they're not like racing, but they're not taking their time either. There's quite a bit of dust.
Does Racehorse have time enough to get back inside?
He's inside.
Oh, I thought you said he
It-
was outside.
Right,
He's
going
he's
to his
at
mech.
the wall next to the door.
Oh, okay, gotcha. On the
Where-
inside.
Yeah. Like you basically have this porch that's like 5 or 6 feet in front of the house that runs the entire length of the front of the house, and he's
Do-
still in the house.
Do I
at the
figure I
door.
have enough time to go upstairs to get to a window?
How much? Like you can make that run. Like you. This is going to be a matter of like you imagine that they're going to be here in a matter of seconds, but like it's not going to take you a minute to get up there and get to a window. If you bolt, like it'll take you like 15 seconds maybe.
And do the windows give a good view out to the entire
Yeah.
area? Is there some kind of
The ones on the let's see here. Let me go back to the upstairs real quick.
the door side?
The ones on the south side of the map all have windows that face the front, and
There's
you
no
know
overhang or anything like that.
well you know that you wouldn't be able to shoot anything that's like on the on the porch or like
Gotcha.
directly in front of the porch because of the way the roof obstructs it.
Yeah.
But it's got like a very very good view of the entire rest of the yard. Like they have
Alright.
to be basically at the foot of the porch to be invisible.
Okay. I'll run up there. I'll say I'm gonna take the high
Okay.
ground. I tell
Do
Are
them
you
we
gonna
I guess.
see
Take that
Primo's
first
smoke?
room next to the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, you choke back a gag as you run past like this frog smell,
the froggy monster.
and it's no longer there. No, I'm thinking-
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do.
Just
you
one
guys
arm.
didn't burn it. Didn't any of you play Resident Evil 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have, except burning it would burn down the whole house, and we were looting
Yeah,
it in the
yeah, yeah.
process.
So yeah, like as you're running up the steps, Recluse, you hear like a car pull into the front, up the dirt, and oh boy,
I'm at like a window near the front, crouched down.
it is a black Jeep, like a Cherokee type Jeep, heavily tinted. If it's not black, it's like so dark navy blue that it might as well be black. It's certainly covered in dirt, so it's hard to tell. And it slides into the front yard, and it stops on the other side of the parked truck, which is I will mark. Let's see here.
That's the truck.
Yeah, I'm gonna angle it a second. And we already have the mech out here too.
TechPod is in.
Did you get into
he
it?
said he was holding off when I described how fast they were coming up,
Oh,
unless
okay.
you wanted to run down the porch. Are you still doing that?
I didn't hear him
If
say
it
that.
was within 30 seconds, I probably want to be in the mech, at least trying to start it up.
Okay. Yeah. It was probably about 30 seconds. By the time you got up there, so like if
So
you
I
feel that
figured
you
it
could.
would.
Is his mech around back? 'Cause
Yeah.
No,
that's where
he
was
brought it out. He
Aw,
brought it out
damn.
front.
Well, that's
I'm
where
going
I
to place
used
it,
it
though.
last.
So this car's pulling up.
Hang on.
And Ryu's in his mech.
Yeah, the
Main
mech.
boot
The
up
mech is the
sequence.
blue box.
An out picks or an out climbs 4 guys of RPG. Shit. But
So then I'm fucked. That's what happens. But
Oh, we're spread out enough that it's not going to be that bad.
Okay, that's where everything is. Blue is the mech. Green is the surplus truck, and black is the Jeep. It stops, and there's like an awkward moment where Ryu, you're in your mech. Which face, like, I mean, I assume you're kind of facing the surplus truck, like that's kind of where you climbed out to go walk towards the house, right? Like, so you're facing left.
the way I envisioned it, it probably would have been left around back out the door. So say what you will.
Oh,
No,
I
you
thought
probably walked
no,
it back around.
we talked about you bringing it around front.
I don't remember that, but whatever.
It was specifically talked about, and you said okay.
I believe we talked about parking it somewhere.
This is one of those situations where, like, you know, it was talked about. I remember it. So you're in the mech, sealing it up. There's probably a really awkward moment for you, particular, like as you're looking over at this thing. You can't see into the car. Everybody is at windows and stuff. There's 2 of you at bottom windows and 1 of you at the top window, and the car is still running, but nobody gets out, and it looks like you have like 15 whole seconds of just like awkward.
mech boot up sequence activated.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, you
perfectly
get that.
fine with there being more time.
Yeah, I bet you are. Ryu. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think it would play off of him mostly because he's the one they're going to be able to
Well,
focus their attention on the most.
the thing is, his mech has a slow boot up.
Does
Will you please roll me?
are there any insignias or anything on this truck, or is it just a black Jeep?
It's just a Jeep. Like that. When I say Jeep, I'm not talking military Jeep. I'm like talking like Jeep Cherokee. Can you roll 1d6 for me, Ryu? Oh God.
I never roll well on time rolls.
Yeah, you hear 1 minute to activation.
Wonderful.
Um,
Well, it's not. That could be a lot worse. I was
yeah,
expecting more.
you've had like 9 minutes before. I was giving you increments of 10 seconds. I was feeling like maybe your mech was happy today. Yeah, so you guys hear kind of like over the sound of the engine and the mech and stuff, a couple doors opening on the other side of the Jeep. And I think you can probably see these doors opening, Mac, and you might be able to see like some figures getting out, but it looks like they're keeping purposefully low and like crouching down as soon as they're getting out.
Gotcha. So they look threatening.
Oh, they look like they're
or-
taking cautiously, just like we
Yes. True.
Yeah, it looks like they're they're getting out on the opposite side of the car. The door's shut after several seconds. Are any of you guys doing anything while this is happening?
I'll open the window.
Okay. Yeah, you crack it open, like it's really stiff. It doesn't look like it's been opened in a long time, but like you get it open. I assume you're kind of like aiming out of it.
Yeah. That way I can call out of it if I need to as well.
Is anybody else looking at anything? Doing anything? 40 seconds to activation.
Can I even see anything right now?
I'm content to wait to let them make the first
We've
move.
talked about how your mech has been fully enclosed, right? Like where your
Well-
cockpit is.
By the art that I've now chosen, it basically is.
Yeah. So I'm thinking probably
It gives
no.
him armor and stuff, right? So
Yeah, it gives you armor. Yeah, you can't. Like, I think your screens are still booting up, so like you can't see anything. Maybe this is a really tense
No
moment
reading
for you.
situation or spy drones for me.
Oh God, no. All right, so it's been like
I'm gonna
It's
go
been
ahead and
almost the
roll my dangerous and sexy, just to see if I get any holds on it. When you enter into a charged situation, roll plus hot on a 10 plus, hold 2 on a 79, hold 1. Spend hold 1 for 1 to make eye contact with an NPC present who freezes or flinches and can't make any action until you break it off.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Or should
okay.
I wait?
It says when you enter a charged situation. I am saying you've definitely entered that situation. You can. It doesn't say anywhere about you having to spend it like immediately. I think you can spend it during that situation.
Well, I think the hold is kept for the entire situation.
Yeah, it is.
So-
So yeah, you just roll your dangerous and sexy. Like
Nothing. Jesus Christ, I get nothing a lot.
at least it wasn't another 6.
On a miss, your enemies identify you immediately as their foremost threat.
Oh boy. Um.
Over
They
the
see
mech.
this- Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I'll explain what happens with the mech in a second. It's been, it's been about 20 seconds since Ryu actually started booting up the mech. It took him like several seconds to run up to it, climb in. You're not used to getting in there with like a full bulletproof vest. You're hurt a little bit, and then like you've got to seal it up, and so like it's only been booting for 20 seconds. The car has actually been in the driveway for about that time. Like around the 30-second mark, these doors pop open, some people get out, another few seconds go by, and you see 2 figures, like dark figures, run like low crouched from the let's see here, from the back of the truck or the Jeep where I'm pinging, and they run into the barn and disappear unless somebody wants to do something.
I'll call out to them. I say, to the vehicle out there, what do you guys want?
Probably their
Um,
house.
Probably their house.
Yeah, when you do
Well, the
that,
dust was undisturbed.
somebody pops, like a third person pops up from behind the Jeep, places a gun against the hood of the car and fires up at your window. Like you were kind of assuming that 2 people got out. You have like absolutely no idea how many people were actually there. Will you please roll me doing something under fire to dodge this hail of bullets?
Sure. It's a cool roll, right?
Yep.
And I wanted to, after he's done this, I was going to shoot my shotgun to, what is it,
Okay, so
Go
that's not the worst
aggro?
that could have happened.
is that the one that can scare somebody? Let me go look.
Going aggro implies the threat of force. And then if they don't do something, then you can harm them.
So I guess seize by force.
Yeah, like
Oh.
seize by force is a direct attack, unless you're
Well, I'm
if
not.
you're
I'm trying to scare them, so I wasn't
yeah,
shooting
yeah,
at
you can
them. but-
basically do that. Let's resolve what's happening with Mac first, but we'll keep that in mind that you're kind of, you're breaking one of the windows and putting your Bessie up against it, and you're going to be doing something pretty probably
Well,
devastating
my other
in a
negative is
second.
that they'll see me as the foremost threat as well.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
for my other failed roll.
believe me, I'm keeping that in mind.
Okay.
So, Mac, like you've been in some bad situations before, and this is looking like it's turning out to be one of them. You were not like, you maybe got some bad feelings when you were down there. Like aside from the torture stuff, like these people look to be pretty well armed. If these are the people who live here, which you have to imagine, so
Yeah.
like this guy just proved that he at least has some sort of assault rifle. He just instead of asking, like returning your call for diplomacy within like 1 second of or 2 seconds of silence across the yard, he just pops up and he blows like a burst through the window. You fling yourself back, like you realize that there's like taking cover below the window was probably not going to work here. But in the process, I think, let's see here, what's in the room. Like you're gonna have to, like there's so much shit coming through this window, like it's almost like this guy maybe has it on full auto. Jesus. Like there's just no way you're gonna be able to use this window to return fire at all. You're gonna have to find a new position.
Alrighty. So I start to make my retreat.
Yeah, that's it. Like you basically could just retreat this round. So we get like a picture of Ruby popping her gun up from one of the bottom floor windows. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I'm trying to shoot in the direction of the ones that are going toward the barn.
But you're specifically trying to scare
I'm trying
them.
to scare them. Yeah.
Let me see here.
It'd be plus cool for me because ice cold. When you go aggro on an NPC, roll plus cool instead of plus hard. Where was it? Go aggro. When you go aggro on someone, roll plus hard. On 10 plus, they have to choose force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want. On 7 to 9, they choose one of the following: get the hell out of your way, barricade themselves shortly in, give you something you think they think you want, back off calmly, hands where you can see, or tell you what you want to know. Does that work in this situation? Is that how that works? Or...
I'm reading the expanded definition in the rulebook right now. Yeah, so going aggro means using violence or the threat of violence to control somebody else's behavior without or before fighting. If the character has the drop on her enemy, or if the enemy won't fight back, or if the character is making a show of force but isn't disposed to really fight, it's going aggro. I'm gonna say, like, it actually says going aggro means using violence or the threat of violence, so that you can actually apply violence to this situation. You are technically not fighting yet, I don't think. I'm gonna be pretty loose with this. I will let you apply this, but you are basically you have to intentionally like not shoot them. Like you're trying to shoot in their direction, but you're basically just not trying to hit them. You're just trying to scare them back.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. But...
Okay, yeah, you can definitely do it then.
7.
Okay.
And my rolls have been pretty bad today.
Yeah. Well, you guys had
Make
some
it up
good
for
rolls last time.
Yeah.
On a 7 to 9, they can choose one. They can get the hell out of your way. They can barricade themselves securely in. They can give you something they think you want. They can back off calmly, hands where you can see them, or tell you what you want to know. You fire, and this is just a loud fucking piece of shit. And I think like the window next to yours shatters just because. And you see both of these guys flinch as the shot goes, but like like one of them looks towards the house as he's running, and he almost trips. But both of them seem to be well disciplined enough to just keep running, and they run into the barn.
Also, because I entered combat, I'm also gonna roll Visions of Death.
Let me see that.
When you go into battle, roll plus weird. On a 10+, name one person who will die and one who will live.
Yes, I love this one. Yeah, you've got to name NPCs. So let's roll your weird, and let's hope for a cool roll.
9. So on a 79, name one person who will die or one who will live.
Yeah. So what do you?
One of the guys going into the barn dies.
Okay.
Of a stroke?
It's just at some point.
The MC will
it
make
will
your
happen.
vision come true
Oh, I
if
see.
it's even
Okay.
remotely possible.
Yeah. Oh boy.
When they
Oh.
turn 85
Oh.
years old and die of a stroke.
Oh God, I know exactly how this is gonna go, and oh boy. Yeah, they run into the barn.
Okay.
Ryu, you're in your final boot up phase. You've got 20 seconds left, it seems. We're kind of playing loose on time here. It seems like, they've suppressed the top floor. They don't want to fuck with whatever's going on with that cannon that just fired. Like, who the fuck brings a cannon? But you hear, like, I don't think you can really see what's directly going on at the Jeep itself, can you, Ruby? Like, it seems like you've got a better shot of like the opening where the barn and everything is.
Because I'm kind of like here-ish. This is probably blocking my line of sight to the
Yeah,
Jeep,
that was exactly what I was thinking.
But I can see out that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking. So you hear 2 more doors slam. And you hear, I think, Ryu, outside of your mech, you hear the muffled sounds of moving feet. And you hear, what the fuck is that? It sounds like it's like even more muffled, like than just because it's outside your mech, like somebody has a mask on or something. And then you hear gunfire start lighting up the bottom floor. Yeah, Ruby, you've got a shit ton of incoming fire. How do you want to deal with this? Like, it's not like they're not poking their heads up to like take great aim at you. Like, they're like, holy fuck, what the hell is in there? A howitzer?
Dive
But
for the storage area under the stairs.
where the stairs are to the basement.
Well, I'm looking at our little drawing. I'm sorry. Right there's the stairs. There's me.
The
But,
stairs are actually going to be on the on the wall side.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So I'm
underneath the
diving
stairs
for
are the stairs.
the
to
hallway
the-
to the kitchen.
Okay, yeah. Let's roll under fire. Mainly just because they're putting a lot of rounds up here. It sounds like submachine gun fire.
12.
Nice. Very nice. So yeah, you do it. You dive out of the way. There's bullets zipping through this entryway to the house. There's plaster and wood flying all over the place.
So I dive through the kitchen and I'm like, just getting in the corner farthest from the bullets.
Yeah, like you can hear bullets like thunk 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 as they go through the front wall and then land in the wall like behind you at the kitchen. Like they're actually like you're safe in the kitchen, but Jesus. Mac, what have you been doing?
I've made my way to the third window, the east,
Smart.
southeast side of the
Very
house.
smart.
So I
Outside, I think you can see one guy right about here where I pinged, if you saw that, if you didn't let me know. And then there was one guy like you see movement. It looks like he's like on the other side of the truck, maybe.
All right.
You guys
Do I
are
get a clear
hearing
line of fire.
to this guy on the right. Yes.
The guy. Yeah.
By the
I'll take
way,
it.
like, I'm just gonna say, Ruby, you dive into the kitchen and you look around and you see Racehorse like huddled down next to the keg of wine, and he's got like plaster in his hair too, and he's just like staring out the door. He's got a cup of wine in his hand and he just kind of reaches it towards you. So now we flash up back to Mac. Mac, you're taking a shot. This is definitely going seized by force. Do you have anything that makes that roll differently? You roll cool for that, right?
I don't think so, unless I'm
Was
acting
was that
under
just
fire.
the battle bib? Let me see.
Yeah,
No,
think so.
I think you just roll hard.
Seize plus
Yeah.
force is ice cold on the battle babe.
Yeah. So
That's what's letting me roll the pool.
Yeah.
But
so do your seized by force.
and it was go aggro, not seize by force. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's what allowed me to do that.
Yeah.
Because the ice cold doesn't apply to
Okay,
seize
yeah.
by force.
Yeah, 10. You get to choose 3. You take definite hold of the situation. You suffer little harm. You inflict terrible harm, or you impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy.
Now, I'm only doing that to the one target, right? I can't like inflict terrible harm and impress the
If
enemy.
you are in, let me say this. Which are the 3 you're thinking about taking?
Now, how does take definite hold of it apply?
It basically means like,
You gain an advantageous situation.
yeah, you gain like the upper hand in that particular moment of the situation.
Okay, I'm gonna do then the third 3.
Okay.
With suffer little harm in case they turn fire.
Yeah, that's smart.
So I've got a good position that I'm firing from with the.
Yeah, so
some kind of
basically
cover.
what happens is you're going to take 1 less harm if you take any harm at all. You're going to inflict 1 harm additional. And then, you're going to impress, dismay, or frighten the enemy you're shooting, but like you also have other enemies, and they're going to be impressed, dismayed, or frightened as well.
Yeah, primarily the one on the other side of the truck.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
the
he's probably
closest
going to be
one.
freaked out. Let's see here. Yeah, what's the damage on your weapon and what are its tags?
2. Its tags are. Let me see. Close, loud area.
Okay, let me see here. This is definitely sort of at the maximum range of your ability to fire, but it is definitely still within range. And you said 2, so yeah,
Correct.
you deal 3 harm to this guy. And tell me how you kill him.
Just let loose a double 3-round burst. Just kind of popping him up center mass mostly.
Nice. Yeah, he takes it in the center mass. He's got like, out of the 6 shots that you fired, like 5 of them just squarely hit him in the chest. He is super dead. Like he just, I think Ryu, you hear a oh, and then there's like a slump against the vehicle. He's toast. I think 1 bullet probably dings off of Racehorse's truck.
Punctures the gas tank.
Let's hope not.
Not with that roll. If I would have rolled really low, then maybe.
At this time, I think 2 things happen. Actually 3 things. The guy on the other side of the truck, he curses and he hunkers down. Like you can no longer see him. Ryu, your mech activates and your screen start lighting up and you actually start standing up. And then as that happens, does everybody see this north door to the barn?
Yeah.
That pops open, and 2 people are kind of visibly there. Only one of them sticks his gun out, and he starts firing at Mac. How do you wish to deal with this?
I'll
If he's firing toward the house, he's getting riddled with bullets.
Yeah, I imagine so. They don't know. I don't think you realize this, but nobody knows anything about this mech and that there's somebody in it. It hasn't moved yet. It's
Yeah.
like it's only just now starting to move and they can't see it.
No, it's moving now, and they're gonna
Yeah.
regret that.
I'll
Yeah.
act under fire and kind of get down and get back to get out of the spray
Okay,
of
yeah.
their oncoming fire.
Yeah, do a roll cool. And again, I'm just gonna. I don't know if what you guys have marked down anymore. But just make sure you're marking down XP if something's marked.
So I fully expect not to get anything further in this session as far as experience goes.
Oh boy. Mac, you try to get away from this window, and you did it once before, but this time you're not as lucky. How much armor do you have?
I have 1 armor.
Can I roll
Okay.
history to boost his by 1 by shooting out that way? I'm in the kitchen though. I probably can't see it. Now.
There's a separate role for covering someone with
I
other
don't-
fire.
The
I don't know
thing
how that
is, you
works.
have to basically explain how you're helping them. I am somewhat buying the fact that you're covering them, covering him, or at least firing them. If you do that though, I'm gonna say that it's gonna open you up to fire because they're gonna realize you're there. Like, you're not gonna be taking direct fire immediately, but I don't know that, like, you're seeing a bunch of fire go up towards the second floor, and Mac's up there. So I guess you're probably firing at them just to try to get their attention.
Yeah, to try and
So
draw
you
it off
can-
back.
You can roll to, let's see here. Are you directly trying to help, or are you trying to do something else?
Oh, there's an actual command for provide covering fire for someone, Star.
Is there?
Yeah, I think I remember that. I'm trying to look up when it can be used.
When you provide covering fire for someone, roll plus cool on 10 plus, you keep them from coming under concentrated fire even past 9 o'clock. On 7 to 9, their position or course is untenable and they proceed accordingly. On a miss, they suffer concentrated fire now.
Where do you see this?
It's on the optional battle moves. It should be towards kind of the back
And
part of
according
the
to the thing
basic
right above,
moves.
concentrated fire means enemies full harm as established by their weapons and their numbers as normal.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
see it.
you can definitely do that. So roll your cool, and this will definitely be cool.
11.
Okay, yeah, you just saved his ass.
And that's and I'm reloading.
You still take a bullet, but it basically reflects off of your bulletproof vest. And like, that was in the opening hail of fire, Mac. There's like, it seemed like there was 2 more bursts that came into the room, and if it hadn't been for this loud boom downstairs,
A little bit more accurate.
you might be dead or something. You don't know. Like, all you know is this loud boom just saved your ass. Ryu.
It's worth
it
noting
is
that
time.
entire rule is based around that weird battle clock that's above it, which we haven't used yet.
Yeah, I'm not using that, but I don't really care.
Okay. I power up. I want to do 2 things. First of all, I want to launch a spy drone. Second of all, if they see people shooting at the house, they're getting riddled with bullets.
Okay, yeah. You come to life and stand up a little bit straighter. The mech makes its normal gyro sounds and stuff, and you start swiveling to look to see what's going on. Immediately at your feet, there is a body riddled with holes, bleeding out. It looks like he's wearing black body armor with a black ski mask. He's got an MP5. As you're turning, let's see here. I don't think you see him, because Max scared the shit out of him. Yeah, you hear gunfire from your left. You turn and you see one person kind of leaning out this door on the barn, like it's just like a man-sized door, firing up at the second floor. What do you do?
I conduct an area attack upon him with my machine gun.
Oh boy. Yeah, do that shit. You're rolling
Light
sharp,
'em up.
correct?
Yes, which is +2 for me.
So, I don't think Mac. Have you heard this before? I don't know that you were. That
No.
the chain gun was used the first time you were there.
I haven't heard it.
So also, I'm reloading and making my
Yeah,
way
you're reloading in the
out
kitchen.
to that window.
And Racehorse is trying to follow you, and you hear, and you notice this is the sound of the chain gun spooling up.
I give Racehorse a smile and it's Ryu's turn.
Yeah, you can only see one guy, Ryu. And you just lay into this whole area around the door. Everybody in the area just hears this chain cannon, like this chain gun. It's not a machine gun. These are like, God, I don't know. It's bigger than like a 30 caliber round. It's big enough to punch through like a brick wall.
So I comment to the Racehorse. Let's see if they like Raijin.
This like back right side of the old barn is just totally decimated. Basically everything in there is just utterly destroyed. Ryu holds down like an entire burst, and he just fires like, and like smoke and stuff starts billowing out of this corner, and like the second like the loft starts to collapse in on itself, and like that whole section of the barn just crumbles. I think maybe for an instant you see somebody get vaporized into a pink mist. And yeah, like anything in that back corner is dead, either by bullets or being crushed. As this is happening, Mac, you're getting back to are you getting back to the window, the same window, or are you going to a different one?
I'm gonna go to the middle window.
Okay, so I think, like Ryu, you're facing the barn. Ruby, you're making your way back up to the front of the house.
Yes, like kind of
And
like crouch
yeah,
low. But...
and Mac, you're making your way to the middle window. I think Ruby and Mac, you guys get to your positions just in time to see somebody jump into this Jeep, and slam the door. Like, you know, the engine's still going. Whoever it is jumps into the back seat.
Uh-oh.
What are you guys doing?
I'm
Like
gonna-
they start to back out. Like, you know, this is in slowed down time, but the tires are starting to spool, and they're starting to try to back out of
I want to
the
grab the front
driveway.
of the Jeep with the mech.
Okay. Let's see here. Looking at your mech stats. You are fast. And you have like a lot of things to do. Let's see here. This is definitely not a walk through walls, but it's somewhat close.
I guess it's just seize by force with the take definite hold situation.
But you're not trying to damage them. You specifically said you're trying to seize control of it, like you're trying to grab onto it. You're not like punching it.
Yeah, that would be like, well, I don't know.
I think you are actually doing something under fire.
Okay, we can do that.
Let me see here. Yeah, this is gonna be a cool roll, Mister. I'm not getting any more XP this
I didn't
round.
think I would, but okay.
I leveled up.
Well,
Nice.
You can choose
You can
that now
pick your
if you
stuff
want.
now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pick
Yeah,
one
I'm
of the things on the right
Whoa,
side.
that's wrong. I rolled 1d20. My bad.
not... Too bad. That was
Pity.
a good roll.
That's still a good
Oh.
roll.
That's still a very good roll. Yeah, you do it. You leap across the yard, and you just snatch. Like this is one of those Jeeps with like the double reinforced front bumper. I assume this is like the easiest thing for you to grab onto, because the hands on your mech are not exactly like Gundam sized.
No, they're pretty small.
Yeah, so like you're grabbing onto this thing, and you guys in the house see this happen, and Ryu grabs the car, and like you can't see who's inside, but you can probably imagine the look of like shock and terror on at least the driver's face as this happens. The wheels are really starting to like, and this thing is like starting to like go back and forth like a trout on a line almost, as it's trying to desperately to pull back. What's going on here? Like, are you guys just watching this happen? Are you guys firing at this thing? I know Racehorse is like he's sitting next to or he's crouched next to you, Ruby, and he's like, Jesus, like
Well,
looking at
it's-
all the destruction.
It's kind of out of my firing range, so I would be firing for pretty much just effect, but so I'm not going to do that.
Ruby's gonna run for this section of the truck.
Okay, yeah.
I'll start to make my way down.
Yeah, Ruby, you have enough time to make it down there. Let's see here. There are no strength checks in this game.
That's dive out the window and
and
run that
start
way.
running.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's probably not a roll. I think it says you can just move 20 meters or something like that, isn't it? Or 20 feet.
All right,
I can't
this
remember.
one I think is going to be a seize by force roll, Ryu. If you're just trying to hold it, you have to hold on to it.
Alright.
Are you trying to do anything else aside from just keeping them from going anywhere? Like,
It's worth
let me
noting I
see
can
here.
grab them with this design and still aim the chain gun at them.
Yeah,
If they're
I mean,
not actively
that's what I'm
shooting
saying.
me
Like,
now, I want
you
to
could-
go
you
aggro
could-
on them.
yeah, you could go aggro and level your chain gun at them. Is
nice
that what
to
you're
have-
doing?
Yeah,
Be
we'll
nice
go
to
with
have
that.
the vehicle.
Go aggro, I think, is still sharp when I'm in my mech, isn't it? Yes, or go aggro, so it's still sharp. 1d20. Not 1d20, dang it. 2d6.
Yep.
Plus 2. 10.
10. Nice. Yeah. They have to choose to force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what you want. Oh, Jesus. I have to give me a minute to think. I know precisely who these guys are. I just have to think about how they would react to this situation. Yeah. The car does not stop accelerating, Ryu. If anything, like, what actually happens is it does stop accelerating, and then they press forward and they try to ram you.
Oh.
So what they are doing is forcing your hand.
Which would
when
mean I
this
pulled the trigger,
happens,
basically?
yeah,
at
when
this
this
point?
happens, you deal your harm as normal. So your harm is 2, correct?
3 with that. 3
Uh,
harm, close fire, auto. Well, actually, no, I can't shoot them because I have to reload now because it did an area effect.
that's true. So you were
That's straight
basically
bluff.
you were trying to do what you were doing in Stars Without Numbers, but these people called your bluff. I didn't even realize that you were out of ammo. I forgot that.
If I had a power fist, this would be done by now, but don't have that yet.
Reach in, pinch him between your fingers, and crush him.
Well, let's see here.
Alright, well, my next step was to run up to the truck and blow him point with the shotgun through the window.
Well, as you get to the edge of the
But-
truck, I'm trying to see if there's any way I can let Ryu still do harm. Because there's not like a melee attack.
Yeah, because they use
For
that with
this
the mech.
thing.
You need to get the power fist, which I can't get because I took the machine gun.
Let me look at the harm table. I might be able to come up with something. Like if these guys didn't do what you were wanting, instead of using the chain gun, you would punch them.
Yeah,
All right, I will come up with
preferably through the front window, but
you've got the Juggernaut playlist, right? What is the harm for a power fist?
3. their other. Well, no, I think it's probably. Let me look. Yeah, I'll get
I
it.
just need to know
I
the
think
damage for
I think
comparison.
it's probably 2. Juggernaut. Where'd I put it? There we go. Juggernaut.
If a
Juggernaut.
vehicle sustains 2 harm, 1
Uh,
damage flows through to passengers.
We'll get that.
Power Fist is a damage of 3.
Okay. I'm trying to come up with a way of making this realistic without making the Power Fist worthless. It obviously has to be less than 3, otherwise there's no point in doing the Power Fist. The thing is, a big knife or a crowbar will do 2 harm. I'm gonna say, like, those sorts of things can't really damage a vehicle. You do 2 harm with this. We'll just say that. Try not to abuse it.
No,
I-
I'm
like, the
pretty
Power
sure
Fist
the
is there
Power
for a
Fist is high
reason.
on my list of upgrades. So
Yeah, the Power Fist will let you do things in RP that you can't do, like, with this. So yeah,
chances
you deal.
are my next
punch
level up
this
is
thing.
going to be the Power Fist. So
You punch this thing. Where do you punch? Like the engine block? Do you punch towards the driver?
the driver preferably. The engine block will probably work just as well.
Okay.
I would prefer to not destroy the Jeep if possible.
All right, so you punch towards the driver. Your fist goes straight into the driver side of the windshield. It totally spiders and cracks to the point where, like, even if it wasn't tinted, you can't see anything. You hear like a scream from the inside. Ruby, you're running up to get a bead on this.
Yeah.
As that happens, the bumper rips off and this car goes flying back down the road.
I thought he put it forward.
Yeah, he slammed into him as this was happening,
okay.
but he's going back again. Like, there is a harm meter for getting hit by a car, but I didn't feel that Ryu was, like, they had enough momentum to deal damage. It's a good thing because, God, I'll tell you, even even the mech would take harm. So yeah, it starts flying back down the road, like not like down the road, like just towards the road. It goes off the road as it's backing up. Like, it seems like these people don't have full control over the vehicle. But it's kind of swerving just a little bit. Fortunately for them, like, these are fields and stuff, so it's kind of flat. What they hit, like, a pothole, and the whole thing jolts for a second. It doesn't flip, but it spins around just slightly to where it's kind of like facing the road, and it comes to a stop. I'm gonna say they are out of your range, Ruby. But if they just stay there, they could feasibly, you could feasibly run and fire at them at, like, maximum range, like,
It's
after
close,
a turn of running.
so I don't think I could get there, depending on how far it went.
Ryu, I take it you're loading your chain gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After reloaded.
What's Racehorse been doing this whole time?
Yeah,
Drinking
he's
wine.
Drinking wine in the
he
kitchen.
he left that in the kitchen. He's up. He was up next to Ruby at the front door.
He's like, "Oh my god, this bitch is crazy."
Yeah, I think he's still back up at
he's
the
probably
porch,
still
like,
at the
looking
window.
out. Yeah. He's got his Mac 10, like, up, but he's just like, holy crap, I don't know what to do here.
Okay, well, when I come running down the stairs, eventually I'll call to him. I'll yell keys to his truck.
He's like, he looks at you and his eyes are wide. He's like, and he starts digging around into his pockets, and he comes up with them, and he looks like he's gonna toss them to you. He thinks about it for a second, and he looks over at his car, and he looks over at you. Will you, let's see here. Can you roll me a manipulate check? Or
Sure.
um,
Seduce.
yeah, it's you have to basically. Let's see here.
It's worded awkwardly.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the extended.
Tell them what you want and roll plus hot for NPCs on a hit. They ask you to promise something first. If you do it, and they do it if you promise.
The main reason I'm having you do this is this is like his baby.
All right, so I'll
Uh,
bring it back in one piece.
Not a scratch, Lando.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his satellite dish just gets destroyed.
Yeah, you're lucky, Mac. Well, I shouldn't say. If you had rolled one higher, you would have gotten the they changed their nature roll.
Really?
12 is the on a 12 plus. If they're an NPC, they do it, and
Let's
further
see
they
here.
change their nature.
Only if you have the advanced
Asking
rolls.
someone straight to do something isn't trying to seduce or manipulate them. To seduce or manipulate them, the character needs leverage, sex, a threat, a promise, something that the manipulator really wants to do. So I'm thinking what happens here is like he basically says no. Like he doesn't say anything, but like you ask for the keys, and he he doesn't give them to you. So your leverage here for you is you're just promising not to damage the vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
whether
roll,
you keep your promises up to
roll
you.
your hot.
You
I
did.
did.
You got 11.
I
That's why
didn't-
we're talking
I
about.
didn't see it. Yeah. So
You still got to promise them, but on a 10 plus, it's whether you keep that promise is up to you.
well, the
But-
main thing is you have to read the next section. Like it doesn't mean that
Oh, they
not
can
keeping
refuse
it.
and act under fire.
Well, no. The thing is, it's not keeping it. It's not like it doesn't have any sort of effect on the relationship because you rolled high. It's when you read the 7 to 9 section, they need some sort of concrete assurance right then. So like you can like it's totally up to you whether or not you take care of his car or not. I'm gonna say like the way this is worded, if you fuck up his car, you will have consequences with your relationship with this guy. Yeah, he tosses you the keys, and he actually, he looks down and he's kind of staying over by the porch.
Alrighty.
All right, so you run to the
Big
the
truck. Yep.
Ruby, you hear running behind you. You see Mac running to the truck. You look over and you hear like a loud chunk 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 chunk, and Ryu is reloading the chain gun. It looks like the Jeep is moving again. It looks like somebody has like broken part of the windshield out so they can see, and like they're having a hard time maneuvering the vehicle, but they've actually got it back onto the road and they're starting to go down the road now. What does everybody do?
I'm gonna be starting up the truck.
I want to pursue.
And
Now-
Mac is going to pursue.
Is Raijin faster than the Jeep?
Well, we established his maximum speed was what, 30 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Jeep's
You
probably
can-
faster than that.
You can pursue. It looks like you're like you start. You start running. You run out of the gate. You start running down the road. You start catching up a little bit, but it seems like maybe the people in the car were dazed or something. Because like it wasn't that the car couldn't move fast. It was just like it wasn't going very fast for some reason. And then I think you're just starting. What's the range on your chain gun?
Close far.
I think you're probably in far range when they start to pull ahead. I think you have time for one shot if you wanted to take it.
Yeah. I will open fire.
Okay. Are you simply just trying to do damage?
Yeah. That's fine. I would prefer to shoot like the engine block or something like that if possible.
Well, it's got your back,
Tires.
the back
yeah,
to it.
So I
Back
guess I'll
is
just shoot
facing
whatever
you.
I can.
Well, if you wanna specifically shoot the tires, that's gonna be different than a seize by force roll.
If Cloud just area fired it, could he just saturate it enough that the tires would probably pop? But
Yeah, well, that'll wreck everything too.
Ventilate the entire car.
If you want to do damage just to the car and potentially the people in it, that's definitely going to be seized by force. If you are trying to like specifically disable them by shooting their tires out, that's going to be doing something under fire. And you're basically taking the risk there that if like whether you hit or miss, like you're not going to be shooting the people on the inside. So you're not going to be dealing like damage to them.
I'm just gonna go with the seize by force and shoot them.
Okay.
13.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so
Car blows up.
you fire and you've got 3 damage, right?
Yes.
so as I watch him chase after this thing, I go and investigate the barn.
Oh god. Okay. Total destruction. The car explodes.
Jesus
Don't-
Christ!
You
Well-
fire a single round and it catches like the fuel tank. It's going down this thing and you just hear whoomp, and this black Jeep
Oh.
just explodes and it
Pity.
flies off the road into
I would
in
have
like
rather
a
shot
fireball.
the driver out of a 13, but
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I stopped the truck and put it in park.
Like you weren't
the
aiming
brake.
for the driver, you were aiming for the car.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
so like
you said that Go Aggro would be shooting the car, so
you can't see the driver to shoot him is the thing. Like I
'Cause it's
gave you
tinted
2
windows.
options. You could shoot the car or you could shoot to disable, which would be the tires. And you just decided to shoot the car.
yep, that's fine.
What? That's what you decided to do.
Yeah, I guess it's fair. I didn't care about the people in it. I wanted the car, so it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, but I mean, all right. Let me tell you about harm for vehicles. Whenever you deal harm to a vehicle, you deal harm like there's a certain amount of harm that can blow through to the people inside. Conversely, like since you can't see the people inside, you are shooting the vehicle. So like you can't just shoot through the windshield and not damage the vehicle. The vehicle is going to take harm. Like I gave you the option of shooting the tires to where the vehicle's hit points on the harm table, I was going to basically treat as like it was damaged, but you could replace the tires or something. But yeah, the whole thing explodes. Like maybe even more than like there's some secondary explosions in the back. You think you hear ammo going off? Good God, was that an RPG that just launched into the air? Like holy fuck, what the hell did they have in the back of that thing? It looked like they had a huge cache of weapons in the back, maybe like from the amount of ammo you hear firing off.
Well, the ammo's not shooting at us, so okay.
Yeah, so the truck comes to a stop. Let me reposition everything. No, I don't want to do that. You see Racehorse coming down from the porch. I assume you guys get out of the truck. And Racehorse just comes up. He's got his gun like on his shoulder, and he's just shaking his head, looking at this giant black cloud. And he's like, "Holy fuck!"
I'd recommend we load up and leave.
Yeah. He looks like that's a good idea. How does everybody else feel?
Yep.
Yeah. Grab
Um,
whatever guns and stuff these dead guys had.
Yeah, there is an MP5 lying on the ground.
Yay, more
Where
ammo.
that guy died. Well, yeah. We're not treating ammo there. The barter is going to be one MP5. One SMG.
Or and search them for IDs, anything that might tell who they are.
Yeah, this guy's got a post-apocalyptic ID.
So what happened to guy number 2? in
He's
the barn?
licensed to torture people. Guy number, do you go into the barn?
I said I was going over that way to look at the barn. But...
I think you see a hand sticking out of an immense cache or immense amount of rubble. Like, since the guy who got shot by Ryu vaporized, it seems like this is the other guy. Like, he's totally impaled to the ground. Like, you literally cannot see any of him underneath all of this this wooden stuff. Just his hand that's like reached out, and even that has like a wood shard straight through it.
Poor bastard.
The body armor on the guy is ruined. I'm trying to think if he's got anything that might be valuable. No, I don't think so. Just the SMG.
Only thing salvageable.
Yeah, I'm looking at the situation now, and that's literally all that was salvaged. Yeah. So, to start wrapping things up, I know we've gone a little bit late. I guess we see you guys start clearing everything out. Is there anything?
I want to
I've
try
written
and get
down
the
a list of-
generator, but I doubt it's going to be likely.
Give me Are you going to use the mech for this?
Yeah.
I would assume.
Hopefully not fall in the ditch. That'd be
Yeah.
horrible.
Give me a walk through walls. Hard roll.
Yep, this is it. It's gonna be it. It's gonna go down. Yep, 9. Something happens.
You collapse it onto yourself and are briefly trapped. It's too strong to knock down, or it's going to take some time. Before you choose, I will say that one of your party members suggests that you get the hell out of Dodge as soon as possible.
I did, so
Yeah.
so I guess it just fails because I can't take the other 2 options.
Yeah, you can. You collapse it on yourself and are briefly trapped.
Which, in this case, with me knocking down a wall and then a floor, it's probably me falling into a hole.
Briefly trapped. You could get out of there. The way if you want to you collapse it onto yourself, you can do it.
Okay, I'll do it. Fine, I'll do that.
Yeah, so we've got Ryu, who's basically demolished the front porch, walking his mech up into the living room. Racehorse has drawn a big circle with like some spray paint, where he thinks you should collapse this thing. I guess both of, like, you guys probably are staying well back. You've already loaded everything else
Yeah,
up.
we loaded everything else on the truck.
I think there's one thing we would do before we see the spectacle with the mech. Did you guys try to open that cabinet?
No. Not yet.
Nope, we didn't.
Are you guys going to?
I mean, the only other thing
And if you are going to, how do you try?
Firing a 9mm round right into the keyhole or something. It's the only other thing I can think of. You
I mean,
wanna
I
try
could
that?
shoot it with my gun, but it would probably destroy whatever's inside.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do?
You guys like the keyhole thing?
Yeah, try it.
Alright, we'll use one of the pistols.
Mine's more destructive.
All right, you don't have to roll for that, because I mean you can just fucking put a bullet through a keyhole, unless you're trying to do it in a specific way. Are you literally putting your gun up to it and firing? Are you trying to do it from an angle or?
No, straight on, but back a little ways so I don't get, my hand all blasted up from shrapnel and stuff.
Okay. What's... This is the sort of situation where I think I can tell you what happens, but I'm trying to look to make sure there's nothing that you can roll.
See how badly I blow things up inside.
Yeah, I mean, I normally don't feel like a dick, just like having stuff happen to you guys because it's part of the story.
Yeah, well, we didn't find the key, so I mean, this is the
No, we found a
next
bunch of keys.
best.
There's no time to
Yeah,
use
we
them
didn't find
all.
the right key.
Well, you tried the ones that looked like it, and they didn't work. I'll tell you that it looked like it was just somebody's collection of keys that they collected over the years, maybe. Like some people collect license plates.
Yeah.
Ironically, the guy in the car had a key.
Yeah. Probably not gonna find that. It's
Nope.
Well, of the
Nope.
two choices, in my opinion, shooting his tire out is going to stop him. So,
All right, Mac, I'm gonna give you a roll under fire. This is an important one.
Oh, thanks for the pressure right before I push enter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yay.
do what you want.
As you pull the trigger, something pops into your head.
Oh. Hopefully
Like-
not the bullet.
You're no, you're thinking like you've got your mind on the task. You're envisioning like the bullet leaving the chamber and hitting this thing, and you think bullet round, ammo, and like you've already depressed the trigger as you think this, and you go back to your thought earlier about how we found ammo anywhere. Like there was this rack of like all these guns, but there wasn't ammo anywhere. And like I think at the last second it occurs to you that of all the places in this entire farmhouse, this would be the place to store ammunition.
Yes. It probably would be. That's what I was thinking was in there.
So you fire, and realistic physics or not, I don't care. This is not MythBusters. You fire, and your eyes widen, and you just start to dive back behind like the stairs. The rest of you, are you all upstairs like when this is occurring?
I'd probably be near him. I just look at
Okay.
him and go, "What the hell?"
You see him ducking, and you're getting out of the way. Anybody outside basically hears what sounds like fireworks. There is a loud boom, but it's not like one that would take out an entire room or anything. But all of a sudden, the room is filled with projectiles. There is also like a loud hissing, like a really loud hissing. There's like zipping everywhere. Like holy shit, did those guys come back with machine guns? I think you guys probably run up the stairs. Like you managed to run up the
Probably.
stairs. After like 10 minutes, it dies down. I think you probably come down and discover like maybe on one of these things like there is something marked phosphorus. It seems like they had more than just ammunition in here. Like there might be some containers that look like canisters, like grenades, maybe no sort of. These do not look like pineapple grenades. Like I don't know. I think Ryu, were you like in the actual infantry, or were you always sort of in the experimental?
I was probably in the infantry at some time. I can't imagine.
So
him
you would
as,
know
like,
what a white
scientific guy.
phosphorus grenade is.
They're not good.
Yeah. It seems clear to you that is what set off all of this ammunition. Like, it seems like there were several hundred, if not 1,000 rounds in here of various sorts.
Damn.
And they're all gone.
Pity.
So yeah, that entire room of is just utterly destroyed. You've got everything loaded up, and we're waiting on Ryu to blow a hole through the floor. I think Racehorse gives you like the open grin, like thumbs up. It's gonna be okay, buddy. But then he runs to a safe distance. You like how would you go about trying to take down the slow? Would you just try to punch it? Would you try to like stomp it with one foot but retain your weight on the other? Would you try to shoot it?
Mythbusters have already discovered that shooting the floor out does not work.
Yeah.
Well,
with a
Mythbusters
chain
didn't
gun.
have a chain gun.
Yeah. They did saw a tree in half with a
They did
Vulcan cannon.
succeed on cutting a hole in the floor after many thousand rounds.
yeah.
Yeah,
so-
and glowing and absolutely riddling the
Are-
generator at the
I guess
bottom.
I guess are you gonna try to stomp it or punch it?
Those little arms, I'm gonna go stomp it.
Stomp. Yeah, that seems the best to me. So you stomp it, like you hear cracks. You feel good about your balance. You stomp it again, like it gives way in a portion. So like you slowly make your way through the house, like just walking through walls. God, that poor sofa just utterly destroyed. This house has already been shot up. The basement's like been destroyed partially by white phosphorus and bullets. The entire front facade is just destroyed now. Somebody's just like gone on a demolition. You get to the last part in your step, and you lift your foot up to step, and then the floor below your foot just collapses, and you fall into the basement. Fortunately for you, you do not land on the generator. You guys have left it in its little safe pocket. And you know, it takes you a while. You're covered in rubble, but it's all wood. I guess like your best way of getting out is probably just like clearing all of the shit away from the stairs and trying to use that as a ramp. Is that what you would do?
Well, if I've knocked all the shit down, I can probably just use that as a ramp.
Yeah, you climb out. It takes a while, like 30 minutes. By the end of this, you guys have been here an hour longer after the gunfight. But you climb out, and at least as a benefit, it's going to be really easy to haul this generator up. Right? Do you have like a winch or something on there, or do we just use the one on the truck?
I would just
Truck.
pick it up and hand the thing up.
Can you hold something with your small hand like that?
It's got two hands.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess before he climbs out, Ryu holds up the generator, and everybody's like, "Holy crap!"
This is like Megan goes, "Oh,
Yep.
generator." Anyway.
That gets loaded into the truck in a place of honor, like securely tied down. So you guys, at the end of the day, it's starting to get a little bit dark out. You have enough time to get back to town, do you?
Still haven't
Sure.
found the parts, but
That's true. If you bring that up with Racehorse, he says,
we got
we
a
may
pretty
not
good
have
haul
found the
though.
parts, but we got a good haul, and this generator could really come in handy.
You should probably
I'm gonna
just
be
go
honest.
back and
We have another generator back there, but it runs on gas. Diesel, I mean, we could put pretty much anything in here. This could tide us over for the moment. It's not going to be a full-time fix, but I think it'll work for now if you guys want to head back in. But he gives Ryu, like a long look, like, is that what you want to do? You still have enough space in the truck for some more stuff, potentially.
well, I know I'm probably gonna have to deal with Kyle when we go back, but we've been shot up. The truck is fairly well loaded. We should probably cut our losses and go back.
He nods. He says, I've never seen those guys before, but wow. It's like, I wonder what was in that Jeep as you drive
So do
by
I.
it.
You'll never know.
Do you run the mech back, or do you take a load off and just load it into the back of the truck?
I guess I'll go ahead and load it this time. I would
Okay,
probably
yeah.
would
There's
run it, but
there's
there's space,
barely
so.
enough room for you to load it in there since it's not full, but you got enough room. And yeah, you guys make your way back to town. That's gonna be where we end tonight.
Cool.
I think we've got to mark our experience here. I think it's the person who knows you the most this session. Is that it?
See, it's kind of weird because I don't know how history changes. How does all that work?
Well, you spent a lot of time with Ryu this session. Like you guys were clearing those rooms together. You guys nearly got killed by that weird creature, I would
Bandaged
think
his wounds.
like that's the sort of thing that builds history. History doesn't have to be you finding words out about them, like how do they react in this situation, or like does he help me when this happens, stuff like that. So I could have sworn there was an end the session. Oh, there it is. Yeah, at the end of every session, we're gonna go from left to right again, starting with Ruby. Choose a character who knows you better than they used to. If there's more than one, choose one at your whim.
That's
tell that
definitely
player-
Ryu.
Yeah, tell that player to add 1 to their HX. If that brings your HX to 4, you reset and mark experience. So Ryu, you go up 1.
Yeah, Ruby is now at 2.
So Ryu, who knows you best after this session?
Of the 2, it has to be Ruby.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I would
And
agree.
moving on to Mac. Mac, you didn't have nearly as much interaction with everybody this session, but you certainly did have some interaction with both of them. Who do you think you got to know a little bit better, or they got to know you a little bit better this session?
Probably Ruby.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. So Ruby, mark XP with Mac.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. Does anybody, have anything they want to comment on? Anything they want to ask? Any questions about what went on
I'm
in
gonna
certain
assume that
situations?
me blowing the crap out of the 2 in the barn, trying to protect the others, does not trigger the belief.
It's really funny because that's basically what Ruby did when she was giving covering fire. I'm trying to think because one of your friends was technically in danger, but you all were.
To me, this would be more like the town's under attack. Do you protect them?
Were these
Right.
guys wearing uniforms?
It was all kind of black paramilitary stuff or dark gray. One of the guys had blue jeans on, but
So
no
that was set
uniforms.
uniform. Okay.
No
Mine
uniforms.
that would be the only way mine would come in.
Yeah. I think yours, Recluse, is probably going to come up more with how you deal with the town.
Yeah.
But if somebody's in charge of a salvage mission, that could come into play too. Like, if you ever buck Racehorse's authority during a salvaging run, that would count.
Gotcha.
The strong exist to protect the weak. I'm going to ask you, try to answer honestly, were you specifically trying to protect anybody with that move?
I would think I was, but if I knew my friends were in the house and I was trying to kill the enemy shooting at them as fast as possible.
I felt protected by both Ruby and Ryu from the barn when they did those 2 moves.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And to give a little bit more credence to it, I think you didn't make an offensive roll to protect Ruby, but when you were clearing the upstairs, you had her back, and maybe you don't consider Ruby weak, but you ended up having to roll to defend yourself because you were the one kind of protecting her.
I
Either
wrote
way,
that like that, but really the way I saw it is he wants to protect people. That's why he's
Okay.
got the mech. That's the way he feels.
well,
But that's weird to write
the
out.
way I read it, it has to it's definitely more worded towards somebody who's not as strong as you, like a townsperson. I'm gonna let you have it this time. we can redo these
I
as
would probably-
necessary.
I would probably agree with you. That's probably why. The only reason I'm arguing it is I'm one freaking box away
I
from
know,
leveling
yeah.
up.
You get it. You can level up.
So that was your third or fourth level?
Third
That-
for him.
Yeah, third.
Wow, I just hit my first.
You count the improvements on the
We
right
got
side.
a whole lot that second
Okay, well,
adventure.
I'm
Yeah.
settling this now, and I'm taking the Power Fist. No more arguments there.
Okay, good. That really helps. That'll be interesting. I think that'll probably come in with your armory when we get back to town. Let's see here. Sometimes you just have to take what you want and pay for it later. Do you think that happened at any time? And this doesn't have to be like you taking it from somebody. Like maybe if it was
Well,
like if you had been the one
Blowing
to
the door
fire
open.
into that ammunition container, I think that would have counted. Is there anything that strikes you?
Blowing the door open.
What door?
That specially locked door, the one that had the bottom plate.
we were going in there anyway, though.
Yeah, and it's like, were you expecting negative consequences for
No.
going in there, or expecting negative consequences for blowing the door open? Like either way, like you probably pissed the people off going in there.
Gotcha.
It's got to be something you're
We're already
doing
in the building, so yeah. I
that
don't-
you
I don't
know
think
that there's
anything triggered
likely
that
to be
this
some
time.
sort of retribution for
Heavy
your
consequence.
specific action.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna stop the recording.
All right.